Today marks 1489 days, share lessons I learned and continue to learn with you. My hope these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about why it's so easy to misunderstand yourself. I think that so many of us lacking clarity, understanding, awareness, and it's that we are set up to misunderstand us. Just the need to understand that we need to manually learn how to develop awareness and reflect on ourselves constantly to really build that awareness. But I think that we sometimes we do not understand ourselves because we do not understand where the misunderstandings are coming from in the first place. So when you understand, okay, like there could be coming some misunderstandings in this area of my life. So maybe I need to really reflect more on it because you're able to see something that you put a light on. Because if in dark room you're not able to see anything, but when you put a lighter and you start pointing on something, you start to see, okay, oh, this one, now I understand. And I think that today those 10 things could be really sometimes even eye-opening, the things that could be leading to misunderstanding yourself. Number one, I think that this is very important, is that the self is not a single entity, it's a construction. And what I mean by that there's so many parts of identity that sometimes it is contradicting. You want to succeed, you want comfort, you want safety, you want solitude, you want freedom, you want conflict. There are so many things that you actually want at the same time. It's contradicting. So that means that you're looking into contradictions. So who am I? I am that person who wants comfort, or I'm that person who wants success and ambition. You are both of them at the same time. It might be that you are leaning 60% to one and 40% another one, and if that means, again, this is where prioritization lies, understanding okay, what is more important. Because it could be both are important, but which ones are more important? That's where the misunderstanding is. That's like I want both of them, but I'm not able to have both of them. I could have seasons in my life where I could get this is my ambition season, this is my lazy season, this is my success season, this is an action and execution season, this is my reflection season. So I think that's much more important to look at that when you clarify the season rather who you are at the moment and prioritize things. Number two is the brain hides information from itself. And I think that one thing is that when you understand that sometimes we distort perceptions, rewrite stories, suppress painful memories, and knowing that our brains are built to hide those things because we want to survive. And then sometimes it's just unconsciously our brains does that because probably you've heard that we have so much information coming in that our brains consciously choose to look at only 3%. So all 97% that we are not prioritizing to look at is ignored, deleted. So much information is deleted, and that information where was deleted might be was very very important. So maybe for us, if you want to achieve great things like this in life, we need to really focus and really say that and develop that subconscious mind who could choose those 3% for us rather than against us. Number three, most identity is built reactively, not intentionally, and this is extremely important. Most identity is not intentional, especially at the beginning of your childhood. You never intentionally build anything. It was built by society, by culture, and at some point you start to choose yourself. At some point. But before that, there's so many things, so many layers was already built reactively to your experiences, to your events, to your authority figures, to threats, social pressures, approvals, rejections, so many parts. And that's why sometimes the biggest things that we need to do in life is really reconstruct ourselves and really from the core. Sometimes even roots could be um, not that good. So that means we need to take roots out because interesting beliefs are like tree with roots because one belief could potentially root out a whole tree and there's a lot of branches. So that means if you want to really cut one branch, somebody's going to look at you where that branch is coming from the tree and where that tree is coming from the root. So maybe we need to really remove some kind of root cause belief, take it out, and intentionally choose to build. Because most identities build reactively. That means that we're able to choose. Because I always love saying that sometimes we live life by default, but how we're supposed to live is by design. And exactly the same with identity. Sometimes we created our identity by default. But what we need to do is create our identity by design, what you want to be. And that's again this big part. Number four is memory is unreliable, including self-memory. It's already proven that when we look into memory, especially longer passes, we start um, add details that it was not there. You just start to be creative with your memory. And I think that because of that is we need to be very careful, because become our history becomes almost a fictional. Some stories that really were very impactful is disastrous, or maybe we see as disastrous, even was not. Sometimes we had a terrible, terrible thing, but we soften those things, and we're supposed to succeed as it is. And I think that that's again one of the key skills that we need to develop is being able to see our past as it is, rather than start putting stories around it that is not truly true. And then again, sometimes it's just being able to really bounce ideas from other people. Those those stories that you had in the past could really become true. Number five is the ego filters reality to protect itself. That's interesting. Ego. So, and that means that our ego again. That's part of a little bit with history. That means that ego doesn't want to admit mistakes, acknowledge weaknesses, facing uncomfortable truths, and that means that that's because our ego doesn't want to admit mistakes. That means there will be misunderstandings. What kind of skills that you already have, because making mistake majority of the time, what it leads to, what it says that we do not have the skill set yet to do something. So if you admit mistake, that means you're able to really finish a task and do the right thing next time. But you don't admit, that means you keep doing the same thing. And therefore, that means that you lead to misunderstanding your skill set, because you will not admit mistake. That means you think that you are better than you truly are. But when you admit that you made a mistake, you know that you're not as good as you are. That moment you're able to really get better, and that's of course the person like this always wins. Number six, unconscious loyalty to family patterns. This is interesting because kids, like I said, monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. That means that there's a lot of times we are caught, like we are seeing how other people do, and that's exactly what we do. And that's again mimicking their fears, adopting their beliefs, limiting oneself to like them. And I think that this is again, I think that every single person falls into that. But again, this is a choice again by design to really get out of it as soon as possible, being able to see ourselves as individuals rather than family parent, saying that I'm a family unit, but I'm an individual who's able to choose different kind of patterns, different kind of choices, different kind of things that they never chose for themselves. And that would be the one who really makes a different path and crosses different path. It might be more difficult because I like it, the analogy with pathways. When you go for a hike, you have a path, it's easy to go. But if you want to go outside of the pathway, most likely it will be not stepped on. Will be a lot of grass, tall grass, and you will need to go through them, and it will be much harder. But if you walk multiple times through that pathway, you build a new path, and that's again a beautiful thing. And again, that leads to misunderstanding, because you want to be individual, but at the same time you want to be family parent. You want to really be family member, and sometimes reconciling that could take some time. Number seven, the nervous system governs more than intellect. So what it means is that the intellect could believe one thing, but nervous system is stuck in other thing. So that means that it might be that you have experience in some situation that you know that it's everything's safe, but your body is in anxiety. So you don't understand what's going on. It's not supposed to be that way, and you don't understand that our nervous system sometimes are wired different. Like so, like when we experience different things, sometimes we need to really work on rewiring not just our thoughts, but our how our body reacts to different things. And sometimes it could be misunderstandings. Okay, where is that coming from in the first place? I think that's like a beautiful thing that when we're able to work on our body and really release all the tension that are all the feelings that we do not want to have. Number eight, hidden shame shapes identity silently. So that means it is, I say hidden shame shapes identity, but there's a lot of hidden negative emotions could shape our identity silently. And that's why we do not understand ourselves, because this blind spot. Because a lot of times people say I'm not enough, but or I'm too much, or people if people will know who I am, they will leave me. You might not have those thoughts, but what could that lead you to? Withdrawal, perfectionism, people-pleasing, self-criticism, overachievement, all those kind of things could potentially say that you have shame. And you not need to work on perfectionism, but that's a byproduct. What you need to work on is on shame, on the root cause. So sometimes perfectionism seems that you want to work on. I don't want you to be perfectionist. Yeah, but you will always be perfectionist until you fix the true cause. And then that's where misunderstanding is. Sometimes we think about fixing one thing, but that one thing was created by true cause. And I think that's again where the misunderstanding in person lies. Number 9, the mind creates meaning where none exists. So there's a lot of misunderstandings. If some say that I failed, I made a mistake, so I'm stupid. That's again a meaning, but there's no meaning. That says just the only thing that says that you were not ready for it yet. That's it. You didn't study for it. You didn't do something. So this behavior is focused on the behavior, not on being something. And I think that's again is our misunderstandings of behavior and identity. Sometimes the action people lead to personal. People say that a stupid thing, they start to believe that they're stupid just they are not knowledgeable about that certain thing, and that's it. I think that's how we need to be slower to attach certain things, certain behaviors into the identity itself, and that's again a lot of misunderstandings. And the last one, the shadow self holds rejected truths. So that means that when you reject something, or reject some parts of you, the parts that you do not like, sometimes that will show up in different ways. So because rejecting anger, that could potentially showing up as becoming as passive aggressive. So just rather than rejecting anger, we need to understand where it's coming from, how to deal with it, not really reject the emotion altogether, because we need to accept it. We need to accept all parts of us. We need to love all parts of us, because when you neglect something, it even gets worse. So I think that's a lot of times misunderstanding coming from, because we reject vulnerability by becoming emotionally numb. And I think that's, say, I would love to be emotional. I'm emotionally aware. I would love to be great. But yeah, if you want to be emotionally mature, maybe you need to really open yourself, be vulnerable, and really have both worlds. And I think that's where the beautiful thing lies. So I hope this reflects as well. What what do you think? Where is your main misunderstandings of yourself coming from? Because I think that's what's so important. Awareness is not every single person has awareness of themselves, because there are so many misunderstandings. There's so much time necessary to reflect, just to understand who we are and who are we becoming. That's the most important part. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.